just filmed a whole episode on this freaking Harrison Butker. As I started to go edit, I realized I don't really want to make an episode about him. I should be speaking to you. I should be talking to you. It's less about him and more about you. So here I am, filming again. Let's do it.
The Love You Miss You Bye podcast. Let's inspire each other.
I filmed a whole episode about how I felt about his speech to a Catholic church, how I felt about the statements made in his transcript that I read. I wanted to be fully educated when I talk to you about it and my take on it. I don't get political. I don't get religious. I just try to stay away from those topics because they're hot button topics and I don't want to exclude anybody. My views are my views and my beliefs are my beliefs. And that is not what this podcast is about until it is. This friggin' Kansas City Chiefs kicker dude decided to speak to a room full of people that was filled with men and women at a commencement ceremony. So they're all graduating. And this guy decides to say that the biggest and best thing in the world that you could possibly hope for would be marriage and children. In the same speech, he talks about how IVF, surrogacy, euthanasia, and abortion are all a sin, and also throws in the LGBTQ plus community and decides to say that is also an abomination. I am completely using my own words as I say this, but diabolical lies were told to women in his own words. Now that was a direct quote. Diabolical lies. I've had a lot of feelings about it. I posted a TikTok where I just say how scary it is that the room erupted in applause and a standing ovation. I was just taken back. I also mentioned, I'm like, the NFL spoke up, but Kansas City Chiefs haven't spoken up. And guess who did recently speak up? The CEO's wife, backing his statements. But a group that didn't back his statements were the nuns of Benedictine. They did not back his statements, and they feel like, that is not what the Catholic religion stands for. Now, in my comments, there were a lot of people telling me these are traditional Catholic beliefs, and a lib, a Democrat, like everybody felt like they knew the group that I was in, which is really crazy because all I said was that I didn't agree that all women have this goal in life. Whether or not I am is not the question. The fact that they assumed I was because I believe that women should be able to choose whatever they want in life, and it doesn't always stem on supporting a husband or having a child. What if some of these women in the audience could not have children? How do you think they were feeling, knowing they can't have children? Or somebody else just hearing the speech thinking, so does that mean that I'm not going to go to heaven? Or does that mean that I'm less than you because I can't produce a child? Because you've just told me that IVF and surrogacy is definitely not the way to go. What choice do I have to get to heaven? What choice do I have to follow God, in your words? It really made me angry. As I said, I try to stay away from politics and religion. Myself, just to give you a little background, I do not have a specific religion that I'm a part of. The truth behind my story is that my mom was raised in a Baptist family in Texas and married my father, my biological father, who was Catholic. They ended up getting a divorce, and she married my stepdad, who is Jewish. We moved to New Jersey, and I was raised there. So I lit a menorah, put up a Christmas tree, and went to midnight mass. Majority of my friends are Italian and Catholic and of the Jewish faith. And I will tell you right now, regardless of the religion that they choose to be a part of, if they ever said those words in my presence, they wouldn't be my friends anymore. They just wouldn't. That does not mean that I am against being a homemaker or against having children. I have 3. So obviously I'm not. And yes, they are a huge part of who I am and a huge part of my world. It doesn't mean I don't have my own goals for myself. I've been a mom at 19. I've been married a couple of times. I have been in a relationship since I was 13. Only within the last 7 years have I not been in a committed relationship. It's been fabulous. Okay. It's been fabulous. But I never grew up as a child thinking the role that I want to achieve in life is to be a mother and homemaker, devoted wife. It just wasn't in alignment with what I wanted for myself. I always thought I had the choice to choose to be whatever I wanted to be, whether that was an astronaut, a scientist, a CEO, a business owner. It didn't matter. I was going to be whatever I wanted to be, and it wouldn't be told to me by a religion or by another human. It was me telling me what I wanted. That is where I get a little bit upset that there are actually women being told at 5 what they need to do with their lives. I hate it. It's just enrages me. And that is probably what made me start speaking, because I am a feminist. I would like to think majority of the people that listen to me are a feminist. And when I say feminist, it's about being a woman. It's not about being better than anybody else, any other human. It is about being equal to other humans. And that's a fundamental right. Just like your reproductive system. That's a fundamental right. Why can politicians tell me what to do with my body? There should not be the crossover of religion into any politics. And it just blows my mind that women will say that they're not feminist. There's this viral TikTok where this woman is saying, I'm not a feminist, I can cook. Do you even know what that means? Do you know what being a feminist means? At its core, nobody else's opinion. Let me read it. In the dictionary, feminist, relating to or supporting feminism, advocating women's rights on the basis of the equality of the sexes. What part of that wouldn't a woman agree with? At its purest form, I don't know. You are a woman. How can you not advocate for yourself? I don't understand. How can I had just as many men in my comments coming after me as I did women. And it just breaks my heart. It absolutely breaks my heart. They are starting to pull back on women's rights. You can't see it? It's obvious what's happening. It's obvious. And maybe at its core, you don't agree with abortion. And that is your right. That is your right. But I have a problem because I live in Texas and I am past the age of giving birth. Okay? So this affects my children. And that is why it's important. It affects the future of women. I live here. There are women that cannot get an abortion when their lives are at risk. How is that okay? Doctors are scared. If you want to save your own life, you have to leave the state. You cannot save your own life here. You cannot. Don't you think that's a problem? I'm not saying you should have an abortion at 6 months, okay? For no reason. That's not where I'm coming from. But the right to protect yourself is being taken away. Having basic women's health care covered, menopause. The doctors don't even know what's happening to our bodies because they haven't been trained, because it doesn't matter. That's a big deal. That's a problem. It makes me get upset. You don't know that. If you're listening to me, hopefully you know that. This isn't us just being fucking Democrats. This is human rights, equality, and people are speaking freely about us. And they're trying to make us wear veils because that's exactly the traditional Latin Mass, the TLM movement. That's what they believe. Do you want to walk around with a veil over your head? There's nothing else I can say to you except for do your research. This speech was not about being a Catholic because the Pope disagrees with traditional Latin Mass. Why do you think he disagrees? Do your research. Find out why the Pope disagrees with this man. Because he referred to the traditional Latin Mass 100 times. Look at the transcript. I don't care about this man. And if you think it's just Catholic basic religion, you're wrong. My role in this podcast is to uplift women. That is all I care about. That is my main mission, to let you know we're a community and we back each other up. And as Gen X, as us, as the Gen X women, we need to protect our little girls from everything that's happening around us. What the fuck is going on with Diddy? They just released a footage of him beating Cassie, his girlfriend at the time, kicking her, pulling her by the hair. And he just releases an apology video within the last 24 hours. Like, are you kidding me? Why are we listening to him? Put him behind bars. Period. You don't lay your hands on women. Weinstein. What the hell is going on with that? Take a look around. We have a problem. Protect each other. Speak up. Do not repress your voice. If you don't stand for anything, stand for yourself. That's all I got today. I care about you, and I want you to be safe and have equality. Love you, miss you, bye.